Cursed by the old gods in Bethany, we are 5 immortals doomed to roam the galaxy until we complete our 1001 tasks. After centuries of having our memories sticked around, ready to complete our destiny and die. We are, for now, the Immortals. This is episode 86.
Woo!
Woohoo!
Shh, okay, keep it down a little bit.
We're okay.
What?
I mean, we're fine. She can't hear us.
Okay, so, as you all know, we're the Immortals, we review stuff, yada yada. But we're traveling on a spaceship to go find some guy, stop the bad girl, yada yada. Pedro, happily built us a ship.
Yes.
Did it in 2 weeks. Very impressive.
Yep.
Built an AI.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a month now, and she appears to have taken over the ship.
Mm-hmm.
And trying to definitely kill me.
Yes.
Which is a goal of the show, but I think she won't succeed, so it's going to hurt a lot.
Yep.
So we're all we're not doing great. We spent the past week in hiding from our own ship's computer. Pedro, where are we, and why is it safe for Marian?
Okay, I'm not an idiot, and I've seen 2001.
Okay.
So I built a life pod thing.
Yeah.
But then I turned it around so she can't look inside.
What?
You know how Hal reads their lips because
Uh-huh.
they don't turn the thing around? I turned it around.
Oh, nice.
She can't see us or hear us. We're good.
Okay, so and we have Lee still at the captain's chair, trying to keep appearances.
Everything is fine.
Lee, how's the shipping going?
Ship is going great.
Sweet. So we're all okay.
Yeah.
Sarah is in a different part of the ship, just kind of acting like we're all there. She's kind of somewhere else, is kind of screaming Adam,
She's the
good
DK.
good
Deep
job
boy.
rating that thing lower than the rest of us. Ha 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 ha. And it's all been going just fine.
I wonder if she's made cardboard cutouts of us yet.
Oh, I hope so.
Yeah.
That'd be a good use of resources on our ship.
Yes.
It would be.
But I'm Austin, by the way.
I'm Adam.
I'm Lee.
And I'm Pedro.
Yeah, so
That's so weird.
Sarah's in a different part of the ship. She can't join us right now. It's okay. We're really good at this, guys. But, we're the Immortals. Every week we review one of the 1001 movies, albums, food, songs, children's books, and TV shows. And last week, before she got very, angry, Marian randomly assigned us the number 429. So we're reviewing a bunch of stuff today. And I don't really know our game plan kind of moving forward about Marian. I was thinking we could be topical because the movie this week is the Battle of Algiers, so we're going to do an Uprising. But then I actually bothered to rewatch the film and realized that is tonally way off.
Yeah.
And extremely disrespectful. So we are not going to do a slapstick Uprising. We're just going to plot and figure stuff out later.
Yep.
So yeah, well, in a few minutes we'll review the Battle of Algiers. And what else do we have?
The album is Street Life by the Crusaders.
The song is Dancing Queen by Abba. Abba?
Abba.
Abba.
Are you sure?
We're Americans. That's Abba.
All right.
They're Swedish, so it's Abba. That's
Three
right.
syllables.
The children's book is Pedro. Is that Arsène? Arsène Lupin, Gentleman Thief by Maurice Leblanc.
And the TV show is, of course, Beverly Hills 90210.
All right.
So, now that I've said the words Beverly Hills 90210, let's get right into the Battle of Algiers.
Nous sommes arrivés à la moyenne de 4,2 attentats par jour. Oui, il faut distinguer les attaques individuelles et les attentats à la bombe. Nous disons qu'il y a une minorité qui s'impose par la terreur et la violence. Nous devons agir sur cette minorité dans le but de l'isoler et de la détruire.
It's Algiers. You don't say the S.
Algiers.
Yep.
Algiers.
Mm-hmm.
Abba.
Then why do they put the S on it?
Because
They're
it's French.
As we learn from this film, the French are assholes.
Yeah.
So this is a... I don't know what year this is. There it is. 1966 film. This is a political war film. It is not on a battlefield, but much like other war films we've covered in the show, which have included All Quiet on the Western Front, Mrs. Menevere, and Downfall, this is a painfully humanistic portrayal of war. And it is a look at the French Algiers crisis in the 1950s and violence on the streets. This is dealing with colonialism in a really upsetting way. It is an intense movie. It has a bit of a cinema verite style to it. It is often shocking. And it's such an incredible feat of filmmaking. But I kind of want to start with Pedro this time, because even though we all have lived for centuries and lived in different areas, you identify as partly French.
Yeah.
There are a lot of difficult films about America, but this seems to be a particularly tough one. How was it for you to watch this for the first time?
Ooh, gosh, I don't know. To be honest, I was able to detach from it. It was actually not a long time ago, but longish ago.
It's kind of weird how not a long time ago it was.
Right?
Yeah.
The fact that they were, I feel like I'm not accusing it by any means, but I think every modern developed country that was ever a colonial power, they all kind of sucked. So it wasn't eye-opening or surprising. It was kind of just sad to watch and see, I guess, both sides and see how, if you're not on the side of the rebels, then they're terrorists. And they straight up were, and they even acknowledged it themselves. Acts of terror can only go so far. We have to do something else. But no, they are actually a revolutionary force. And it's interesting to see it unfold, not on a battlefield, but I guess have the battlefield be the city itself, the tiny alleys, this really ancient city. Specifically that neighborhood, right? The Casbah. And yeah, it was just an intense watch.
Since I had Pedro speak for all French people, it's only fair to kind of go to another point I want to do with Lee. Something that I really kind of noticed rewatching this film was the role that the women played in kind of Uprising. You never see this many women activists of these sorts in film. What did you think about the film in general, but also the women in it?
I found this movie to be incredibly interesting. It's a time period and an issue that I am not familiar with, so it was enlightening to watch something that I didn't know anything about, and I got to learn about it, and it seemed like it was trying to be incredibly truthful to what happened, and it wasn't necessary. There was definitely some bias, but it was trying to show a point of view that a lot of Western audiences may not have gotten to see because of the news being run by white people. So I thought that was really interesting, and I really enjoyed that. I loved the women in this movie. I will call myself a feminist through and through, and I think that the discussions around burqas and all the other words for them, for the various veils and scarves and things that I am completely spacing on right now, I think those discussions are incredibly interesting and incredibly important to feminism, and I loved that these women felt that their cause, that this liberation from the French was so important that they were willing to take off those coverings because that was more important to them than their religion. And I thought that was a fascinating idea that, again, that's not something a Western audience ever has to think about because we don't have necessarily that type of covering for the most part.
Well, there's also that amazing shot when you had not only they're taking off their veils, but they also were cutting their hair. Mm-hmm. And I really liked that shot because you had a woman who kind of just grabbed like half her hair and cut it in one like movement. Only gave herself like a half second to like look at what she was holding before she did the other half, and I looked at that too. Like she's not even like looking in a mirror. And I've never had particularly long hair, but women I know who do get a major haircut where you lose many inches. It's something. It's so much part of your identity. And yeah, I loved early on in the movie when you have someone who's kind of getting into this rebellion, and he's given the task of shooting a cop on the streets. And a woman kind of gives him the gun he has to use, and then the gun doesn't have any bullets in it. And I thought it's kind of very just, perhaps in a sexist manner, like, oh, she's just the like delivery girl of like delivering this. But then like once it was a further test of loyalty that is so endangered, she's like right there next to him, and like making sure he behaves the way he's supposed to behave, and also to get everyone out of there as safely as they can. That's incredible. Adam, what did you think of this one as just a political film, as a dangerous film?
I thought it was incredible. There wasn't a lot of room for like, they didn't spend a lot of time on like themes or metaphor or anything like that. It was just like event by event, but like in itself was a really good representation of the beginning of a revolution, and so that was like, it was really exciting to watch. It was like horrifying, but it just I think that everything progressed for me so naturally that I really enjoyed this film. I thought the performances were very, very subtle, and that takes a lot of skill from like everyone. It was really incredible overall.
Like, my favorite scene with that subtlety is the women going and putting the bombs in those various places. Like, they had to be so calm but so nervous at the same time. It was just so good. I love that scene. That scene was so great.
Yeah.
The locations in this movie, I mean, you never seem to get a rebellion story that just feels so close to home in this way. Because like even during like a World War II film, sometimes the way they cinematically depict a ghetto is that it almost feels like a new country. The lens changes and whatnot. This was like their streets, and to kind of film it also, I believe like they were filming like near locations, right? I mean, this isn't a soundstage. I mean, this was. It always felt like you just don't feel safe in your own home.
It was only 4 years after the conflict.
Madness. That's
conflict that lasted 7 years.
And when they kept showing the title cards of the years, it was just a like reminder of how recent this was. I mean, this is
it's a flat out war.
Yeah, I mean, also, I mean, some of the best depiction of Muslim characters on film, which we do not see enough of.
Right.
Yeah, it's man. This I saw this film again. I on a whim, I went to college again a handful of years ago, and Ball State University teaches this in their ethics class in TCOM.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Damn.
And a really cool professor who said, like, I want to show this movie to kind of discuss like ethics during war. Who's seen the Battle of Algiers? And I raised my hand. He's like, of course. And we moved on. But I don't know. I just want to hear you guys talk about it some more. It's one that like it's my third time watching it, but I can't tell you like every scene in order. It just kind of absorbs into me. Like it's just I don't know. It's an experience.
I thought it did a really great job of like it definitely was trying to be like a quote-unquote documentary, and I feel like it pulled it off really, really well, because there's a lot of times when movies kind of try to get that documentary feel and it just feels fake. Like, I think the lack of shaky cam helps a lot, because like that wasn't a technology at the time, that wasn't something that people actually did, and I think the lack of that really helped kind of anchor it in reality.
Well, it's always the sense that there are no markers, right? That like no one's like exactly hitting the shot. It feels like you're capturing something more than you're directing something.
It did. It was unnerving sometimes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't like precise blocking of the actors or anything like that. It was just like put the camera here and do the scene and we'll get what we get kind of thing. So I think it helped with the authenticity of it. One thing I really liked is the very end when it's the last title card was something like, and then 2 more years later, and they finally got their independence. And so I think that was it was really interesting that they decided to use that title card and not
show it,
dramatize it happening. Yeah, and I think that was really powerful. That like everything that we had seen up to that point had essentially like been still happening for 2 more years.
Yeah.
Well, it denies you the reward, right?
Exactly.
Because I mean, when you have that, sometimes you go, okay, it was all worth it because now we're all good. And the film says, no, we all know what France does and doesn't have in modern day, but we're not going to pretend this. We don't need you to pass off the previous 2 hours of this film.
Mm-hmm.
France had a different government during this war. This conflict helped bring the collapse of the 4th French Republic, and now they're on the 5th.
Macron.
5 tries.
Macron.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, thank God it wasn't Le Pen. Then it would be 6 and 7 would be right around the corner.
Yeah, that's right. And 7.
I do, like, Criterion made, like, the most, like, impressive box set for this, and I wish I had time to... There is so many documentaries they made about this movie on here.
About the film itself?
Yeah, it's a 3-disc set here. Yeah. A 51 documentary about the making of the movie, a 20-minute documentary involving Spike Lee, Mia Noir, Julian Schnabel, Steven Soderbergh, and Oliver Stone on the film's influence, thought, and importance, and there's just a whole disc on the history and the film.
I didn't know this film was scored by Morricone.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
You love Morricone.
I do.
Is that our first Morricone on the podcast?
I don't know. Is it?
I actually don't know.
Nah. Find out, I guess. One of us will.
Someone can Google this.
At some point.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like we've... I don't know how much we need to expand some more.
I'm good.
I cannot think of any negative thing to say about it.
No. Yeah, it's... This is a cinematic achievement like none other.
Yeah. Agreed.
I think it's time for henges then. I mean, it's... I feel we're going to keep coming back. Like, we have more to say as we keep going on the show. But
yeah.
I feel like something that people just need to sit down and watch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'll give this a 4.8.
I'm going to say 5.
Whoa.
What?
Shit.
Yeah. Like, the only thing that I would say is that I probably wouldn't watch it again, but then the next day I was like, I could watch that again.
Mm-hmm.
I'd watch it again if it were in theaters. Hell.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God.
Ooh, if we were in theaters, yeah.
Ooh. I'm gonna say 4.6.
And Lee?
I'm gonna give it a 4. It was a little slow at times, I felt.
Yeah. I got that too.
And not in a refreshing, catch our breath kind of way. Just kind of in a... Yeah.
It's such like... I mean, it's a procedural, right? But it's not Law and Order solving the case. It's the procedural of the rebellion.
Yep.
Yeah. So that is the Battle of Algiers. If you have not seen it, it is currently on Filmstruck. We highly recommend you check it out.
They had a guillotine. I forgot to mention that.
There was a guillotine. Holy shit. I'm sorry. I just forgot about that part.
Yeah, right? No, France actually used it until they got rid of the death penalty, which was in, like, the 80s. So people got guillotined in the 60s,
Wait, wasn't
70s, 80s.
Wasn't it like a thing that like someone's like, is this law still in the books? And they're like, well, I mean, maybe.
I think they put the death penalty on like indefinite pause. I don't think they officially like stopped it or made it illegal or whatever. So it's just kind of hanging out. So I'm sure the guillotine is still just chilling in a death chamber somewhere.
They're proud of their invention.
Yeah, it's real efficient.
Again, thank God Le Pen didn't get it.
Yeah.
French politics jokes. I assume it's going over well. Can you hear all the laughter in the audience?
We're cracking up.
We're in a pod, so we can't hear as much. Also, we're in space. Also, this is not how sound works. Anywho, down with the album section. Lee, what do we hear this week?
This week we listened to Street Life by the Crusaders. This was well into their discography. I didn't feel like counting. They've been around since the 1950s, and this album came out in 1979. They had also gone through a couple name changes. The Crusaders are a jazz band, and like, whoa, is this easy listening jazz? But I'm not mad about it.
This was like this was so calming. Like,
right?
It like I forget what song it was because it was one of the ones without lyrics. But, like, it literally kept like rising and then like quietly falling in a way of like soft waves. Like, oh yeah, this is like literally the sounds orchestrated for you to like help you sleep, of like recorded like ocean.
I had like a really heavy, stressful workload today. There's a whole big deal about missing a puzzle piece. I've talked to Marian about it. She wasn't listening. Anyway, the entire time I was working though, like I felt calm and relaxed while listening to this. It was just exactly what I needed.
I was feeling rough at work for a bit most of the day. Then I put this on, and it got better.
I was hiding from an AI trying to torture me. This was nice.
It's so lovely and like relaxing in a way that, and I don't mean this derogatorily, but I feel like it might come out that way, in that way that elevator music does.
I thought of elevator music. I was like, this is damn good elevator music.
Right? Like, I kept thinking that, but I felt really guilty because this is so much better than elevator music, because it's not just like an easy jazz listening version of a hip-hop song. It was their own, own music pieces that they made. So I thought, I don't know, it's good elevator music.
Yeah, in a way that you would, like, not want to get off the elevator.
Yeah.
We're telling elevator music they really got to step up their game because...
Oh, you know what is the most inconsistent background music? Hold music.
Oh, yeah. I get some pretty bad ones.
Particularly hold music that does not naturally flow into the next song. So there is a small silence between them. So you think someone actually just picked up the phone, but instead it's just like next track.
I heard hold music in a stairwell earlier today. I guess Marian was playing it for whatever reason. But
why do we have so many stairs, by the way? This ship is giant.
How else do you get from one place to another? I mean, you can float, or you can use stairs.
Wait, why aren't we floating?
Because I'm putting a gravity system.
Oh, okay. I'm sure I've asked that
before.
It's
more comfortable. Yeah. Turn it off if you want.
No, we're recording a podcast.
Exactly.
Yeah, but we should talk about the title song though, because the last 5 songs are just instrumental and lovely, but the first one is this big breakout hit, right, Lee?
Yeah, it was used in a Burt Reynolds movie that I've never heard of called Sharky's Machine. It was the opening sequence song for that, and then it was later re-recorded and like at a faster tempo for Jackie Brown by Quentin Tarantino.
Oh.
So, yup. So
I need to watch that again. I forget when it was used. That's a good
I have
movie.
no idea. I've never seen Jackie Brown. So
That's the one you watch if you don't like Tarantino, because he just made an Elmer Leonard movie.
I don't like Tarantino, so I might actually like that movie.
There you go.
But yeah, I really enjoyed this album. It was so good. It was so easy to listen to. I listened to it all day on repeat, and it never got tiring. It was just good, easy listening.
It had smooth sax. I love me.
That saxophone, oh my god, that saxophone was so good.
Oh, yeah.
Such good saxophone. Because it wasn't like cheesy 80s saxophone.
I love that too, though.
I do too, but like that gets really old really quickly.
Yeah.
Like after Careless Whisper, you're done. You don't need any more cheesy saxophone. But this, like, I wanted, dare I say it, more saxophone.
Wait,
It was-
I always want more saxophone.
here's an editing project for anyone out there. Months ago, I reviewed the television masterpiece Red Shoe Diaries, and I may have mentioned that the music in that was consistently terrible. Please re-edit an episode with this album, and maybe it will actually be good. I don't know.
Doubt it.
That's the soft porn David Duchovny Showtime show that
Perfect.
for some reason we reviewed.
And probably if you go to the end of the episode, this episode, it'll be there.
What, Red Shoe Diaries?
No, with this Red Shoe Diaries with this song. I'll probably do it, is what I'm saying, Austin. You jerk.
It's Adam's week to edit.
Nice.
I mean, this is perfectly goes out live.
Perfect.
Something.
Yes.
No, it doesn't. Yeah, this is awesome. I really like this. So this is my first time hearing the Crusaders. Is this similar to a lot of their work?
I've never heard of them before.
What's some of their
and
other names?
They also, I do not have that page up right now. They were also at the Jazz Crusaders and the Swingsters at one point. They've gone through a couple name changes, but
Was this their final name?
yeah, they've been the Crusaders the longest.
So you'd say that they're the last Crusaders.
Yes. I was already
Yeah.
playing parts of the movie in my head.
I know you were.
But I will definitely check them out. They have a huge discography. They were active from the 1950s to 2010. And like the entire time. Their discography is a
Damn.
very impressive Wikipedia list.
Is it like the same people? Always?
For the most part, they've had people come in and out, but like there were like 12, 15 people on this album alone, so
Damn.
Was there?
yep.
Cool. Because there are only a few people on the album cover for this, so I just assumed that was them.
Yeah. I don't know if it's like they have regular people or if it was just kind of the studio musicians that they brought in. They do have quite a few people in them, though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10-ish. 8, 10-ish. I can't count.
I think it's time for hinges, though.
Yeah. I'll give this a 4.25.
All right, I'm going to give this a 4.4. We'll listen again. Pedro?
4.5.
All right, that is Street Life by the Crusaders, which sounds like it would be an album for the Battle of Algiers, but they're very different.
Very different.
Very,
Very
very different.
Very different.
So next up would be the food section, but Sarah's at the other end of the ship, distracting the AI. The 429th food on the list is smoked trout, and we are too terrified to ask Marian to make it for us.
We'll get it at some point.
Sometime.
Yeah.
Yeah, after we
Fix her.
fix the thing and see if we can even like. How much do you want that kind of like artificial? They made fish.
I mean, if it's exactly the same molecularly, I can't really tell.
I know, but like it's one of those things where like you would never like want to order like fish from like a gas station. You know,
Okay,
like,
yeah, that's
You
true.
want fish to be like made right, or it could like poison you.
That's true. I
Well-
think she can make a fish.
She can make a fish.
Yeah.
No transition. Pedro, what's the song?
Dancing Queen by Abba. Dancing Queen is a song by Abba. I didn't pause that time. Came out 74.
I'm not going to reward you.
So it's 76, actually. Swedish group, disco pop song. This is a wonderful song, guys. I really love it. I didn't realize it was this song. And the fact that it starts out strong, basically halfway through its chorus already, is amazing. And I can't do anything but like move around, and I listened to this on loop. I listened to the album, and then I listened to this on loop for about 2 hours.
This song, I mean, it's such a good song, but this song always, to me, has like this very specific feeling of like being in a dream. You know, like it's like the first half of the prom in Carrie. Like, this is the greatest day. Like, this is wonderful. Sure. Everything's everything has a nice like happy foggy tint to it. It's just so happy.
It is.
I wanted so much, like all throughout my life, I've wanted to hate this song because it's so damn catchy and it's so damn happy and it's so damn poppy. But I just can't hate it. I love this song. It just makes me like dance and sing along, even though I reluctantly do so. Like I was listening to it while I was cleaning up in here because of being alone in here. It's kind of gross, but anyway, cleaning up in here, and like I caught myself singing along, even though I didn't want to.
Adam, did you hear the song?
Yes, I did.
What do you think of it?
It's delightful.
It's so delightful.
Yeah, so catchy, and it's just so bright and uplifting.
Right?
Yeah, it's danceable.
Plethora of instruments. You got the piano coming in there with some bright stuff at the top. You got all the techno toolbox, anything you want. There's some like strings in there, I think, towards the end. They sing wonderfully. Mm-hmm. Like, somehow it's like a very jumpy song, but it doesn't feel like hard beats. It's like very soft, and the way they sing, it feels like there's just super smooth. The big lead up, like 2 beats before the actual note that they're going to sing or play or whatever, just to do it for fun. They're great.
So, I mean, Abba is an internationally famous group.
Yes.
But also they became, like, famous again thanks to the musical Mamma Mia.
Oh.
Because, I mean, it's a whole musical of ABBA songs.
Sure.
And this is a major featured song. But this is very specifically nerdy for me. Whenever I hear the song now, I think of that episode of Community when it's their Halloween episode. It randomly becomes a zombie episode.
Have I seen it?
Have you seen a zombie episode of Community?
This is the one where they come in as the alien thing?
Yes.
Something about lava?
Different.
Okay.
Couple of
zombie
different
thing.
things. Yes,
okay.
yes. A couple of things. But this one, basically it's a zombie episode in the community college, but the whole original Halloween party was, the whole thing was a playlist by the dean, and it was just ABBA songs plus his voice memos for basic errands. It's all on shuffle, so various zombie action scenes are all done to ABBA, and the main one where they have to run away from zombies is the Dancing Queen, and that is so brilliantly edited and made. But now I think of sitcom zombies when I think of Dancing Queen, which is different than a girl getting married and finds out her mom's still in love with her secret dad, who may or may not be James Bond.
Is that what it's about?
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah, pretty much.
Colin Firth is gay.
Fun fact,
Interesting.
James Bond can't sing.
Nope,
Really?
he can't.
No.
Not at all.
Nah, it's a problem for a musical.
It
He
is.
can do it a lot. He can do a lot.
Oh,
he
yeah.
can be the greatest secret agent of all, but
Sure.
he can't sing.
Never heard him try.
Well, we'll do a double feature of you watching Rock of Ages and Mamma Mia.
Yes.
That sounds like the worst afternoon.
Oh, yeah. Well, the alcohol will kick in really thoroughly at our end.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
Probably.
But do you have more to say about Abba? I assume Abba's on the list some more.
I hope so. Because I
Wait,
had a
no
real...
more for Abba?
I don't know.
Okay.
Oh. No. Listen to it. It's great.
You've bound to have heard this song.
I've heard the song before, so that's like when it started, I'm like, oh, it's this song. But wait, isn't this like the main It is the main. Okay. They just decided to throw it out there in the beginning. Sweet. Let's do it.
You had a real dialogue with this song.
Yeah, with myself and the song. We connected.
There's one more, two more ABBA songs on the song list, and then there are 2 ABBA albums as well.
Nice.
What are the songs?
Winner Takes It All and Voulez-Vous.
Coucher avec moi ce soir?
No, just
Damn.
Voulez-Vous.
All right, time for hinges. Pedro.
I'm gonna go solid strong 4.8.
Wow. I'll give it a 4.4.
4.5.
4.5. I hate this stupid song.
All right. Began the show making fun of Adam Moy's rating lower than I am, and he's above me twice. But will it continue? Let's find out in the children's book segment. Let's remember when Pedro said that French phrase?
Yeah.
That's enough transition. What do we read this week?
Voulez-vous to read Arsène, right?
Yeah. Well, no, but it's okay.
I took 5 years of French.
Jesus.
2 years. The book is Arsène Lupin, Gentleman Thief by Maurice Leblanc. I may have said burglar before, but it's thief. Who cares? So this is a novel, short story collection essentially, which was looking for the publisher date.
It was a while ago.
Yeah, it's early 1900s.
It's in the public domain.
Jesus.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Damn.
The audiobook is on LibriVox if you're interested.
It's true.
Huh.
Lee, did you listen to any of it?
No, again, there was a big, huge thing with the puzzle piece. It took up most of my week.
You also flew the ship, right?
Austin,
Yeah, sure,
Most of
I
it's
did
on
that.
autopilot anyway.
Oh, phew, good.
It just kind of goes and scans areas. And
Yeah, but our
it never-
autopilot's insane.
No, it's a separate system.
We have 2 AIs.
Well, no, one is just autopilot. Planes have those.
I've seen Airplane. It's a living creature that inflates.
No. Thank God he didn't build the ship.
Anywho, back to this book.
Yeah. So Arsène Lupin, the character, is a thief and
not a thief.
I'm sorry, a gentleman thief.
No, the greatest thief
The greatest thief of all time.
ever.
And so all these stories center around him, and he has a French detective kind of adversary who's always 2 steps behind him. There's one story where Arsène helps the detective to solve a case.
That is an amazing story.
I love that one. Yeah.
That's so good.
Helps him solve a murder, and then also steals from the victim,
Yeah.
the murdered woman, after she's been murdered. So it's a lot of it's essentially Sherlock Holmes, but if he were a thief. And
Yeah.
in fact, Sherlock Holmes makes an appearance in one of the stories, and
Which
That's
is
funny.
his
Yeah.
because you read the first 2 and go oh, this is definitely like wonderfully inspired by Sherlock Holmes. It's like a really great different take homage. And then you try to meet Sherlock Holmes, name Sherlock Holmes, not just like that guy at Deerstalker.
Yeah.
It's him. And it is like it's not technically like a battle royale between the two of them, because like they're always a bit further apart, but Lupin definitely outsmarts Sherlock technically. Like if a victor had to be announced in this canon, he is smarter than Sherlock Holmes.
I think maybe in that story he was a little luckier.
Sure. Because he recognized something was up when he walked by. Like Sherlock did like had the skills involved with that.
Yeah. Yeah, the only thing is with these like con stories, it kind of, and I've read some Sherlock Holmes stories as well and kind of had this same reaction reading to it, and this same experience is that whatever Arsène Lupin said was happening, it's like I know that that's not the case.
Yeah.
It's not happening. Or he's lying about this, or he says one thing and it's another. And a lot of times it's that the detectives to solve the case are thinking too much almost, and the solution is, oh no, it was me the whole time.
I stole it.
Yeah. I was disguised as a railroad man and I stole the train.
It was so fun because this author went on to make several collections like this, much like Doyle did with Sherlock Holmes. And
they were actually running kind of at the same time in these newspapers, Sherlock and Arsène.
That's great. Because like I, once upon a time, Lee and I did a Sherlock Holmes blog where we were reviewing all of Doyle's stories, and they were really fun to read and reread. But there was a bit of a repetitive pattern to Doyle, and that is not at all happening here. Every story has a completely different structure to it and different like approach to it, and like different uses of different narrators, that it really felt like a nice like larger world of like Lupin's around and involved somewhere. And the first Sherlock story is still perfect, and it's the meeting of him and Watson, but the idea that this first story is the arrest of Lupin is brilliant. And because you have to establish him as this smart, but also he has to be arrested by the story. But of course, what story 2 is, he breaks out of jail. I was blown away by how much I loved this book. I want to read them all. They were so much fun, and I also dismissed it for its time. Like I thought like the solutions wouldn't be that clever. Like I felt like early on, like, oh, we're looking for Lupin on the boat. We know that like here's one of the 3 clues it has to be. I'm like, these clues are stupid. This doesn't make any sense. Like like, why would you discount these things? And then the answer is 3 more twists. I'm like, holy shit, this is actually great.
Like, is this a series of short stories?
It has like a.
There's some arcs to it.
Yeah, it's kind of a loose thread.
So the stories are delightful. Like I just wanted to keep reading because they're all just so different and like different approaches. And the character of Lupin, whereas Sherlock Holmes, who is still one of the greatest fictional characters ever made, he's supposed to be genius and distant. Lupin is George Clooney in Ocean's 11, but a super genius, because like when he's interacting with the detective in that one where he's just fucking with him, basically, he says like, oh yeah, here's basically like most of the clues for this murder case. I just don't have time to do it because I got like this jewel robbery uptown in like an hour or two. I had this like woman kidnapped. I got to like get that taken care of.
He's like, this woman is on the verge of death.
Yeah, no, I need to take care of that. It's like my plate is too full today. I wanted to give you a break, and here's a bag of clues. And he's like, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna stop Lupin. And like he like managed to put things together. And Lupin goes, "Thank you, I robbed him."
Yeah.
And like then he like gleefully says like, "You always lose," and just like leaves. It's great.
Yeah.
I loved this book. It's so much fun.
Yeah. It was really good.
It's not a kid's book.
No, I would.
Young adult.
No, it's like like I don't like I think it is an adult book, but also like I would never discourage a 10-year-old or so from reading it because like, but it's just not made for kids, but it's made for everybody.
Well, a 10-year-old French person is probably mentally already what
30.
Yeah.
He's already addicted to cigarettes.
Yep.
He has 2 mistresses.
Yeah, I would give it to someone as young as like 10 to 12.
Because I started to read like some Agatha Christie around that age, and like
yeah, I was just gonna say that the tone and the style is very similar.
Because like this is a perfect book for like kids to read up, but it's not a book written for kids, and that's also I think part of its appeal. I mean, this is just a
book.
The copy I have here is a Penguin's Classic. I mean,
Would you say Sherlock was written for kids?
No, but kids could read it.
Yeah, same sort of feel then.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, these are basically companion books. Like, if you just want a slightly more whimsical Sherlock, and you go to Sherlock if you want slightly more procedural. And a bit more like, because he has like super creative elements to Doyle's, but also it has like these scientific elements to it, whereas this doesn't. This one really is a French gentleman thief. So you know it's
more of a like a romantic, not in the term of love, but in the term of the style.
Absolutely.
A romantic book.
His portrayal on the cover has him wearing a monocle and a top hat with a cane in a gloved hand.
And a corsage.
Yes.
Yeah.
Although they talk extensively about how many disguises he has. Like he has like a lot of disguises.
Yeah, and they go into detail about how he changes in the one where he escapes from prison. How he changes his face.
That one is so much fun because he says, "I'm going to break out of prison."
Yeah.
At the beginning.
Yeah.
And
on this day.
Yeah, on this day. So
he says, "I'm not going to attend my trial."
Yeah.
Not going to be there.
I'm not going to do that. God, these books are awesome. They're really awesome.
Yeah.
This is...
I haven't read these, but like they sound a lot like the anime that this inspired.
Lupin the Third?
Yeah. Lupin the Third, if you don't know what it is, it's a long-running Japanese anime, started in the 80s, and it's about Arsène Lupin's grandson, who is also a thief, and it's called Lupin the Third, and it sounds very similar to the setup and everything, because it's Lupin and his, like, couple friends trying to get away from this one detective all the time, and he will tell the detective, "This is what I'm going to do on this date, here are the clues," and he still gets away with it. And there's even one, it's either a movie or an episode I've seen a long time ago that Lupin breaks out of jail, and he says, "I'm going to break out of jail. I'm not going to be here by the time I'm supposed to be executed," or something, because it's something more dramatic than just going to court. So, and yeah, sure enough, he breaks out of jail.
I swear I know more than one French actor, but they should remake this as a great, like, fun film series starring the guy from The Artist.
I agree. That'd be amazing.
Like, that guy has the perfect charisma. He also played a James Bond parody, which was so perfect. It was amazing. OSS 117, I think that's what it's called. Yeah. That guy could be the best Lupin.
He'd be so good at it.
So, yeah, I'm gonna keep reading this series. This is like one of the best discoveries. I feel like because like I knew I should have read Julia the Wolves like when I was younger. Like I knew, but it's like, oh my god, it's even better than I even thought it was gonna be. This is like so hysterically up my alley that like if they added time travel, it's all they needed to do to make it better for me. So, any last thoughts on it, Adam?
No. So I'm gonna give it a 4.6.
And I'm gonna give it a 4.8. So that is Arsène Lupin, Gentleman-Burglar or Gentleman-Thief, depending on what version you have. The Penguin cover said thief, and they keep saying burglar throughout the actual text. whatever.
Well, he doesn't just take things; he burgles.
I feel like if you are Googling Arsène Lupin gentleman, you're there. You're going to be fine.
Because he's a gentleman first.
Put down your phone, Pedro.
But okay.
No, you can do whatever you want. It's fine.
Yes.
I feel pretty confident about this bold Google. Now you're both doing it?
No, I'm done with this episode. I'm just fucking around on my phone.
Got it.
What's going on?
Man,
Fair enough.
that is the perfect tone to get into Beverly Hills 90210.
Please, Georgia.
What's the matter? Don't you like us? Huh?
Please.
Don't you know how much we like you? And want you?
Please.
Oh, are you gonna make us beg for it? Or we're gonna have to get nasty again?
Please.
Get in the car, Bonnie.
No.
Then we'll just have to do it standing up.
Please.
Freeze, police! Now! Back off! And put your hands in the air!
Are you gonna go down and say something? No. I gotta be by myself.
How'd she know this was gonna happen like this?
All the calls came after 10. So your sister figured that, these attacks might be taking place after each Grudge Night event.
How'd she put all that together?
She's a good listener.
Okay, so Beverly Hills 90210 is a show that ran for 10 seasons on CBS. It was created by Darren Star, who's also best known for creating Sex and the City and several shows within the 90210 universe, including Melrose Place and other shows I haven't seen. This stars Jason Priestley and Shannon Doherty as twins who, with their parents, moved from Minnesota to Beverly Hills and discovered that it's different there. I don't know if people out there actually believe that we have a random number every episode. I think this should be a really good indication of that, because no one in their right mind would do a week devoted to the Jeffersons and then a week devoted to Beverly Hills 90210, which had, I believe so far, I saw 13 episodes, 2 episodes with people of color speaking. So the show's bad. I mean, it's bad in a lot of really unique ways. Mostly in that it's bad at everything, because it wants to be a sexy high school show. You got a girl in a bikini in the opening credits that are 90 seconds long, which seems like that's not a big deal. I've probably been talking about this show now for 3 minutes, especially when they're okay. It's bad. It's so boring. I wasn't liking season 1, and it ranged from really boring to insanely crazy incompetent, like its episode on AIDS, or its episodes on race, or its episodes on rape and suicide, all handled poorly. But I couldn't jump ahead in the show, not because I didn't want to be spoiled on plot lines, because that's silly, but because the show has such an indifference of making a consistent world that it doesn't matter. And this isn't the only show to be a victim of this laziness, but it's the one I'm reviewing this week. Like, there's an episode when Jason Priestley's character, Brandon, is not doing well in history class, and everyone in the show individually comments about how he loves history is his favorite subject, and of course he's tempted to cheat because some character has the tests and whatnot. But then he's never brought up again. It's never brought up that he likes history ever again. He gets he gets arrested for drunk driving and gets his license taken away, and that's never brought up again. That only exists. He should be on probation until he's 21, but he's not, because the show only wants to do the story it wants to tell that week, and that's fine. But now you have nothing that's consistent, nothing about the world, nothing about the characters. So if I jump ahead to season 7 and I see that now Brenda is high-strung like this, she may only be high-strung that episode. I will not know if the character has changed at all to keep watching season 7. Instead, now we have this really, really boring show of these twins who have stupid friends and stupid problems, but just filled with sexism, like every episode. Like, they're literally twins. He was born a minute ahead, or maybe vice versa. And he is respected and kind of seen as a responsible genius, and she is a complete idiot. And there's no reason for either one of these to be flipped or different. His best friend is Luke Perry, who is so bizarrely acted that I just kept pretending he was an international assassin, because this only makes sense of what the hell he's doing. The family's fine with him being best friends with Brandon, but they are furious about the idea of him dating Brenda. And even when the show barely lampshades some of its hypocrisy about dealing with the genders, it kind of just keeps getting worse. In one of the weirdest episodes of TV I've seen in a while, where they have a sex ed seminar coming up in the show, and the Biff Tannen-like character kind of keeps mocking, making jokes in class about sex ed, and then the teacher's car breaks down, so the 16-year-old offers to go pick up the sex ed assembly lecturer from the airport, and he just lets him do that, I guess. And then she takes him back to her hotel room, and they're all friendly and such, but then nothing happens. And then this adult woman goes up and speaks for the school, and then talks about how attractive this teenager was that she met, and he's blushing in the audience. And then she goes, "But I didn't tell him the thing I have to tell everyone now. I have AIDS." And then it gets fucking weirder from that. Because he's 15 or 16. And where did I begin with this? It's all terrible. It's a terrible show that that whole plot line was ultimately bent its back to lecturer Shannon Doherty's character about even having a boyfriend and even having sex with a boyfriend. The AIDS lecture was ultimately about how awful it is that she may have sex one day, as opposed to Brandon's character literally had sex a few episodes ago. And it was about his first time, and about how his girlfriend was secretly homeless. I don't know. She was never mentioned before, but it turns out he had a secret girlfriend back in Minnesota who ran away from home and didn't tell anyone. The show's terrible. But the worst thing about it is that it's not consistently terrible. A show that Lee and I have a weird affection for is called Riverdale.
Riverdale's so good, but it's so bad.
Someone decided that the Archie comics should be crazy Twin Peaks. Not the mythology stuff, just the weirdo crime stuff. That show is fun to watch because it's bonkers every week. This show may go a few weeks without being bonkers. And when it is bonkers, it's usually about how the writers of the show are sexist. And racist. There's literally 2 plot lines about racism, and both of them end with Brandon, the white character, coming out ahead of the people of color. Because he finds out that all the Asian people are paid less at a restaurant, and then he quits and mocks the manager for it. And then gets a better job for being such a good person.
Yep, that makes sense.
And the other one, he was trying to expel a student because he's black and he's a good football player. And he finds out he doesn't live in the city, but he's being bussed in. And then the guy says, "My life's hard." And he goes, "Oh, we're cool now." That guy's never been seen again. Also, he stopped playing football too. Wait, what the hell's going on in this show? Nothing fucking makes sense in this show. So it's just fun to actually take what the characters say literally and make your own plot lines. Like how in episode 1, the newspaper, which is, I don't understand how the fuck that works. She wants him to cover the toxic waste dump, and he wants to cover a sports story, which made me go, what toxic waste dump? What do you mean? And then she goes, that's my test to see what the real story is. I go, is this a running story of a toxic waste dump that's not being taken care of? And the answer is, it has to be, or else no one else is. Oh, also, there are geek characters who just enjoy filming the women over and over again. Brian Austin Green just keeps getting different cameras and filming women over and over again. It's supposed to be a geek comedy. It's creepy as fuck. Show's bad. It's a bad show, and there are 10 seasons of it. There are more episodes of this than The Jeffersons. And it's twice as long.
Oh, wow.
And it has spin-offs and remakes. It's on Hulu. If you want to check it out. I mean, I'm going to finish every show I'm covering, so I'll eventually get to the other 250 episodes of this.
Are you going to watch the movie with The Rock?
What?
The new movie that just came out with The Rock?
That was Baywatch.
Baywatch?
Damn it.
I actually really wanted that movie to be good because I thought it was going to be like 21 Jump Street, where it's like a really fun parody. Mm-hmm. But then the reviews were so horrendous. I'm like, oh, shit. Because I think The Rock and Zac Efron are funny.
Yeah.
They're really good. But they're not in this. Oh, apparently Hilary Swank's in it for a season.
Oh.
So I got to get to season 8 to see Hilary Swank in the show. Yeah. Oh, also, it did have an episode about how alcohol is bad, which also made it to be sexist. But I will say that Beer Bad and Buffy is worse than that episode.
Right.
So, yeah. You saw one, right, Pedro?
I think I did, yeah.
Where they all turn into cavemen?
Yeah.
I love that episode.
You like Beer Bad?
It's so dumb, and I love it.
That's a rough one. Oh, one positive thing I say is that Jason Priestley, I actually think is a good actor who would be good in a good high school show. Like, he shouldn't be like, you know, like a Few Good Men or anything, but like he would do well in Friday Night Lights. Like, he's a good like naturalistic actor, as opposed to like everyone else. Oh,
hey, Luke Perry does a great job on Riverdale.
That's true. He's kind of playing the same kind of performance.
It is the exact same character.
He is in like a tough guy leather jacket for his first episode, of which he's part of a taboo surfer gang.
Yep, sounds about right.
Which is what made me think he was an undercover international assassin. And then he tried to do the same kind of like cool leather jacket, tough guy, slick back hair, but while wearing overalls, but only half of it's buttoned. And that was a style for like a couple episodes straight, where he would just do like one shoulder overalls.
Oh, the 90s.
So yeah, the show is undeniably bold with its 90s fashion, and I admire it for it, except for all the writing and characters and storytelling. Bad show. 2 inches. Did I convince any of you guys to watch it?
No.
No.
Not even close.
All right, well.
And you still haven't.
All right, 10 more minutes. So that's it. That's episode 86.
Woohoo!
All right.
That's I think we accomplished a lot here. I think we talked about some great art, some bad art, and some easy listening.
We did.
Some good stuff.
Great times.
So we are going to remain hidden for the time being, hide from the AIs taking over the ship. So we need to have like one of you guys give me a number for next week. Just kind of like first thing that comes to your mind.
I call out it.
Okay.
5.
Okay. Wait, are you done? Or do you?
I like 5. Give me another one. 5.
Sweet. So are you
7.
Okay. You just.
Ooh.
557.
Is that okay?
Odd numbers, prime numbers,
Is that
all good. Yeah.
Is that adding, or you actually like pick a number?
No, that's it.
Okay.
557.
I'm alright with that.
All right, Pedro. Lee, we are pretty much locked in a pod bay. Do you have the list in front of you?
Yeah, I got the list.
You got the list. Well,
I have my phone.
Yeah, I found a phone too. So I have a phone now.
That's what you guys have been doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, I just been having my computer that only plays 90210. That's what I've been doing all week.
Yeah, I couldn't do it.
Yeah, I still only got to 13 episodes. There was a point earlier when Sarah came to check in on me. She said, "Austin, you've watched too much 90210." I said, "I've watched 10 episodes." She goes, "Holy shit!" Because I like overdid it again. No,
Nope.
this show just feels like forever. But maybe it'll be okay next week. What do we got? What's the movie next week, Lee?
Next week, the movie is Papillon.
Oh, that's fun. It's prison breakout in the style of Lupin, except for the Frenchness.
Much more dire, I think.
Yeah, a bit.
The album is Hounds of Love by Kate Bush, who we get to revisit.
Hey.
That's exciting.
The TV show is, according to Pedro's phone, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? UK version. So no Regis.
The food, I went ahead and looked up the food Sarah's got.
Good job.
Is foie gras de canard. So, duck fatty liver. It's gonna be real good.
Is that the translation?
Basically. Fat liver of a duck.
Is that what it means? All right.
Yeah. The children's book is Chitty Chitty Bang Bang by Ian Fleming.
Alright.
If you didn't know that he wrote that book, that is a crazy phrase to hear for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
I had no idea. The song is Edge of 17 by Stevie Nicks.
Oh,
Song,
shit.
right?
Such a good song!
Yeah.
We're going to blast that on the ship all week.
Oh, yeah.
Unless the computer finds us.
Well, she likes the song too. She's not a monster.
I think she might be.
It's getting close.
Yeah.
Okay, well, fine.
All right, so that will be next week. That is an awesome lineup, and I'm excited to watch Too Much Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, which I believe ran for 30 seasons.
Oh, God.
Woo!
Yeah.
Until then, you can leave a comment for this episode. Let us know what you think of the Battle of Algiers and other things that we covered over at theartimmortal.com. While you're there, you can check out the other podcasts. We are now our second week into the Robert Altman 5 on the podcast Let's Take 5. And we are covering a film that's already been covered on this show, McCabe and Mrs. Miller, which we covered. I did not realize it was this far back. Episode 22.
That was way in there, wasn't it? Real early.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, this should be a fun discussion. And Ad Absurdum is definitely coming out this week for Westworld. It has been recorded. And then hopefully soon, actually they'll have another one as well to kind of make up for lost time. That's exciting. You can also email us at theimmortals@theartimmortal.com. Follow us on Twitter at theimmortalspod. YouTube, we're on there. And if you like the sounds you heard at the beginning of the show and the beginning of all these shows, you can go to songsbyalord.com because Adam makes some good old music.
Thank you.
Check it out. And it's a very spiffy website as well.
Thank you.
So there you go.
I made it.
You did it. Website by alord.com.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's it. You guys got more to plug?
No.
No.
You good?
Yep.
We're okay just being on a spaceship, probably going the wrong direction as we try to find
There's
some...
no wrong direction. The ship just scans its surroundings and goes.
Yeah,
I
keep
mean,
up,
it is
Austin.
space.
What do you mean scans the surroundings and
If it
goes?
passes something that could sustain life or be, possibly godlike, we'll go have a look. Otherwise, if it's a molten lava planet and we're pretty sure the gods aren't there, it passes those.
Then why did you build a super nice, presidential suite captain's booth?
Just in case we don't find anything. We need to have a good captain's booth.
Christ. Alright, thank you all for listening. You all are very tolerant, and we thank you. I'm Austin.
I'm Adam.
I'm Lee.
I'm Pedro.
Catch y'all next week. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
I walked out of there with 60,000 francs. 60,000. You can't imagine what it's like to have a man want you that much. Can you?
Linda, I thought that you were going to stop doing things like this.
Did I say that?
Yes?
Well, what about my dream? You still haven't told me about it.
I think it's okay. I think it's okay that you're dreaming about me. And that the work we're doing is having an impact.
You know what I think? I think you don't have the slightest idea what it is to feel anything. What it is to feel love, pain, fear, or even pleasure. You just sit there in your big chair telling people not to do this, not to do that. I mean, think I don't notice the way you look at me when I tell you about my life? You should be paying me.
Linda, wait a minute.